Hi everybody, I welcome you to today's session which is going to be on pronouns. I hope you remember what pronouns are. Remember the earlier session we did on the parts of speech. So a pronoun is nothing but a word that is used instead of one or more nouns. So that is the definition of a pronoun. So we will look at the kinds of pronouns for some time, and the rest of the session we will focus more on the correct use of pronouns, because that is where we see a tendency to commit some mistakes which we can avoid if we learn some of the rules. The kinds, we have the personal pronouns. See, they are called personal pronouns because they stand for the three persons: the first person, the second person, and the third person. The first person is the one who is speaking. The singular is I, the plural is we. The second person is the one who is spoken to. In English it's the same you for both the singular and the plural. And the third person is the one who is spoken about, spoken of. Singular we have he, she and it, and the plural is they. So these are the personal pronouns, and we have the forms of the personal pronouns varying according to the position in a sentence. If it occurs as a subject of a sentence and then as an object, we call it the nominative case and the accusative case. We'll take an example. Let's say I met Kumar. So here this is the nominative because this is the subject of the sentence, and here instead of Kumar we will say I met him. So this is the accusative case. Suppose you want to say Kumar met me. So the I becomes me when it comes to the object position. Similarly, if you are going to substitute a pronoun for this noun Kumar, we will use the word he. Right? I hope it is clear. These are simple things which we already know. Even if we are not aware of the terms, we know by usage, we know where to use what. So if it is the first person, subject is I. The object position, it becomes me. First person plural, we, becomes us. Second person is you for both singular and plural. The object also it is the same. The third person, he, it is him. She becomes her. It is the same form, it. They, the plural of he, plural of she, plural of it. They becomes them. So if you remember this very well, there won't be much problem when you use them in sentences. In spite of knowing this, still there are places where we may commit errors, which we are going to focus in the later session of the class. So we also have possessive pronouns. Remember we mentioned about them when we were in adjectives class. How it denotes for I, it is mine. The pen is mine. Because the word mine, you see, it stands for my pen. And this is a noun. Two words talking about a noun, the pen. This word is the pronoun for my pen. Similarly for we, it is ours. See, my is the possessive adjective. There may be some grammar books where they call the possessive adjectives also, they include possessive adjectives also in pronouns. But there are some other books, some other teachers where they are strictly speaking of this as the possessive adjective. This is our, here ours, possessive adjective. For you, your is the adjective, yours is the possessive pronoun. He, it is his, is the same. See, you can substitute these words in this sentence and say it for yourself. Then you will see how the sentence sounds like. The pen is mine. The house is ours. The book is yours. The bag is his. Here it is her and the pronoun is hers. It, its. I hope you remember the use of the apostrophe here. Remember not to use the apostrophe here. And they, their and theirs. So these are the personal pronouns because they are substituted for the first person, second person and the third person. Sometimes when you have more than a singular, more than one subject, more than one noun in the subject, some confusion may arise, like Gopi and it's I or me are friends. This may be a very easy sentence where the answer is very clear, but still some people may face some problems here. It is undoubtedly I because this is the subject part, and you know very well in the first person singular the subject we use I. Only in the object position it is me. Now here the teacher told Gopi and me. Why? Because this is the subject and this is the object of the verb told. So when the noun or a pronoun is when the pronoun is the subject of the verb, it is I. When it is the object of the verb, it becomes me. Especially when there are two nouns, you have to be careful. Then we have the other kinds, the demonstrative. Like the demonstrative adjectives, we have demonstrative pronouns which are used to point out things of people. Demonstrative pronouns. This and that for singular, and these and those for plural. This is my house. So here the word this stands for this house, so it is a pronoun. Suppose you say this house is mine, then the same word this in that sentence becomes an adjective and not a pronoun because it talks about the noun house. That is my uncle. And you know, this and these we used to talk about things or people that are nearby, and that and those are used to talk about people or things which are a bit far away. These are my friends. These friends are my classmates. If you say, then these becomes an adjective, right? Those are his brothers. So here you see the use of the plural noun for these and those, friends and brothers. Here this, that, you see a singular noun. The next kind is the distributive. Same as we had the distributive adjective, we also have the distributive pronoun. Words like each, every, then everyone. Okay. And here normally we find some mistakes being committed when we use each and every, especially when they are followed by words like each of them. Now here remember to use the singular verb, because here don't be misled by the word that is adjacent to the verb. Though this may be plural, it is not where, it is was. Each of them was chosen by me. Either of these two can be taken, right? So each and either, or even neither, neither nor. When we use neither nor, again we talk about two people. There is a negative one. Neither George nor, it is he and not him. Neither George nor he was invited. He is right and not him. Right? Why? Because this occurs in the subject part of the sentence. Till here it's the subject and then comes the predicate. Same way with either or. Then we have the interrogative pronouns. As the name suggests, these are used to ask questions. Who is your friend? See, this is a direct question. Interrogative pronouns are used to ask both direct question and an indirect question. Here, a direct question is nothing but the exact words spoken by the person, whereas an indirect question is the question that is a part of the statement. Here, it ends with a question mark. Let us see an example for an indirect question. I asked her who her friend was. The position of the subject also changes. See, this one we discussed in the very first session. Now, who? Yeah, do we have a question? In distributive pronouns, we say each and every. It is correct? Yes, of course, we can use both. Each and every person was invited, not were invited. Each and every, it's right to use both. Each and every person was given a pamphlet, right? So each and every is right. But it should be followed by a singular verb. It is there where we have to be careful. And then, whom? Again, an interrogative pronouns, who is used in the subject position, whom in the object position. Whom did you meet? It is not who did you meet. Because if you answer this question, it would be like, I met him, I met her. Now you know very well that him and her are not used in the subject position. They are used only in the object position. So it is whom here. Whom did you meet? or if it is an indirect question, I asked her whom she had met. Now you see how in both direct and indirect questions we use who and whom. See, remember, who and whom are also used as relative pronouns, because there a relative pronoun is used to introduce a subordinate clause. Now you have to be very clear about the function of the pronoun. It is the function of the pronoun in a sentence that determines the kind of pronoun. Here you see an interrogative pronoun is used to ask a question, either a direct question or an indirect question. Whereas a relative pronoun, we will come to that next, it is used to introduce or to begin a subordinate clause. I hope you remember the term subordinate clause. In a complex sentence, we have subordinate clauses. Yeah, you can type your own questions in the meantime. Relative pronouns, we have the same words who, whom, then the possessive form whose, then which and that. The same who, now you will use it in a different way. Instead of asking a question, say I know the person who did this. Here it is not a question, you are not asking who did this. This is the house which belonged to my grandfather. Now one thing I think you would have noticed, we use who for people and which for things. So house and who for people. Sometimes we also omit the relative pronoun when it is understood. Whose, try making a sentence with whose. I want to know whose project this is. Where we omit, omission. Yeah. They bought things they needed. Now you see which pronoun is omitted here. They bought things that, but it's okay, but it's understood. They bought things they needed, just means they bought things that they needed. So in some contexts we also omit the pronoun, but it is understood there. We have the reflexive and emphatic pronouns. Reflexive and emphatic, where it is used to give more importance, to emphasize. The word self is added. So I, we use myself, ourselves. When it's plural, it's selves. I, myself. I myself did the job. I saw it myself. So when do we use the word myself to the pronoun I? See, there's already a pronoun I there, but we are adding myself to it. I myself, she herself, he himself. Just when we want to add some more emphasis, to add some more importance, so that is why we call it emphatic. reflexive because it reflects back on the same subject. She hurt herself. So here the pronoun talks about the subject once again. So it is reflexive. So this is all with the kinds of pronouns. Do we have any questions? You should have some questions if you are listening. Let us see. Okay, let's wait for some questions while we move on to the next part, like the nominative. When do we use the nominative pronoun? In the nominative case, when it is the subject of a verb, then we have the accusative as the object of a verb and also as the object of a preposition. Is not only the object of a verb but also as the object of a preposition. Like for example, say the quarrel between John and, now here you may get a doubt what to use. It's me or I was settled. The quarrel between John and, it is for sure me because it follows the preposition between. Similarly, I bought new clothes for Mary and him, not he, okay, because it follows the preposition for. He hurt himself. Is it correct? Yes, it is correct. Why not? If he hurts himself, then how else will you express that? He hurt himself. They hurt themselves. See, sometimes accidentally, sometimes intentionally also people do that. Haven't you heard of that? Can emphatic pronoun, good, you're posting more questions. Can emphatic pronoun give some, what's that? Maybe for emphatic pronoun, give some examples, please. I didn't get. Okay. She did the job or cooking, let us say. She did the cooking herself. This is an emphatic pronoun. She did the cooking herself, which means she did not get any help from anybody else. Nobody assisted her. It was she who did the cooking. Then they repaired the car themselves. Yeah, these are examples of emphatic pronouns. Is that clear? Let's see. Do you still have a doubt here? When it is singular, we use self and plural selves. Okay, and there's one area where we call it the predicate nominative. A predicate nominative is a noun or a pronoun which forms part of the predicate but still talks about the subject, but still refers to the subject. Let us see examples for that. It was, now try to fill in the blank. it was dash who got the first prize. Now here when the pronoun follows a be verb, see was is a be verb, and it is definitely she and not her. It was she who got the first prize because see refers. And here another thing to be mentioned here, there are many uses of the pronoun it. Generally what we know is it is used to refer to things, non-living things, sometimes living things, animals and birds in general. I did nothing, is it correct? Yes. If you did nothing, then that is how you can express it, I did nothing. Or you can also say I didn't do anything, both are right. I did nothing means I didn't do anything. Okay. It is also used to introduce a sentence. There it may not stand for any noun, but it is used to introduce a sentence like we say, no, it is getting late, it is raining. There the it does not stand for any noun. That's one use of it. It introduces the sentence, we call it the introductory it. And it is also used in this way to talk about a noun but which follows the verb, doesn't come here, like it was I. See, there's some difference in these two sentences. If I say I met him is a normal way of saying I met him. But if I say it was I who met him, so do you see the difference? It was I who met him means nobody else, it was I. So here it is used this way, it. Then we say it snows. It snows. It refers to nothing but the snow. But instead of saying the snow snows or the rain rains, we say it rains, the snow, it snows. And we also use it to talk about the weather, to talk about time. It is 10 o'clock, it is hot, it is very cold, right? Predicate nominative. I have some examples. I know. It was the children. Now, if you use the noun, you know for sure that there's no doubt at all. If you want to use this pronoun for this noun, what will you use? Instead of the children, what will you use? They or them? They. I know it was they who made the noise. Okay, right? Do we have any more questions on this before we pass on to the next? No questions so far. Do you understand? Now try to fill in this blank. It's who or whom. You are speaking to. Let's see if anybody types the answer. Now your job is to understand whether it occurs in the subject position or in the object position. If it is the subject or the nominative case, it is who. If it is the object, it is whom. So it is in sentences like these that normally people commit mistakes. Do you understand whom you are speaking to? Because here, you see, when you split this long sentence into two sentences, in two clauses, do you understand is one? Then, see, somebody has given the answer as who. Whom is the right answer. Why? Because, see, speaking to, it is the object of the preposition. Remember, that's one use we learnt just now. The accusative case is used when the pronoun comes as the object of a preposition. Two uses we saw. One is the object of the verb, the other one is the object of the preposition. Here you see, speaking to, let us say if you saying it as a sentence, there will be no doubt at all. I was speaking to him. I was speaking to him, we say. I was speaking to her. We don't say I was speaking to he or I was speaking to she. He and she, nominative. Him and her, accusative. Same way, who is nominative, whom is accusative. Now, is it clear? I was speaking to my teacher. She was speaking to him. Now, when you substitute that, you will know for sure that it is whom and not who. I'll give you some exercise. You can work on that. Then we'll come back to the answers and discuss them later on. I'll give you some time to do that also. George is more popular than he or him. Or let's do it now. Let's pass on to the next. You can think of the answer for the first one. Keep typing the answers. Don't worry if they are wrong. We will discuss why the answer is wrong and why this answer is right, so that you don't repeat the same mistakes again. Did you go as far as they or them? Are you willing to trust Geeta more than? This is a tricky question. Me or I? Are we getting answers for the first one at least? George is more popular than. Any answers for that? Because this is one area where we make common errors. Than, see, as I guessed, him is not the answer. It is he. Why? Because, see, I'll tell you the reason why he is right and not him. George is more popular than he is. Is understood here. We don't say it, but it's understood. George is more popular than he is. Then he is popular is the full form of the sentence, but we don't repeat those words. Just to avoid repetition, we stop with the pronoun. So here this is the, so like George, this pronoun is also the nominative case, the subject position. Normally you will hear people saying him. George is more popular than him. Is not the right answer. Okay, same way, please guess the answer for the second one. Did you go as far as they or them? Now you see, them is not right. Again the same reason. Did you go as far as they Did. Did is understood. Did you go as far as they went? That is the meaning that is intended. But we stop with a pronoun. Did you go as far? Did you study as well as they? Which means did you study as well as they studied? We don't say no, them studied. Just expand the sentence, then you will know for sure why them is wrong. Did you play as well as them played? We don't say. Did you play as well as they played? Same way. Did you go as far as they? They means they did. Did again, here we are using only the auxiliary verb, the helping verb. That is the short answer. We don't use the full form. We just stop with the helping verb just to make it more effective. Do you work here? The answer we say yes, I do. Instead of saying yes, I work here, the better way to answer that is yes, I do. Do you like the job? Yes, I do. No, I don't. So we just stop with the auxiliary verb. Similarly here is did, but even without the auxiliary verb did, this is enough. It means, it conveys the meaning that we wish to convey. Yes, do we have more questions? The answer, yes, the third one. Are you willing to trust Geeta more than... See, remember I said this is a tricky question, which means both answers are right, but both mean different things. If you say, are you willing to trust Geeta more than I, it means, are you willing to trust Geeta more than I trust her? Please listen carefully. Here, both these pronouns are right, but they convey different meanings. Are you willing to trust Geeta more than I? If you stop there, it means more than I trust her. But if you say me, it means, are you willing to trust Geeta more than you trust me? Did you get the point? Both are right, but depending on what you want to convey, you have to choose the right pronoun. Okay, so me or I both are right. Now, there's one more question. How do we know that sentence is complete or continuing? Remember the definition of a sentence. What is a sentence? A sentence is a group of words which gives complete meaning. So when you read the sentence, and if the meaning is complete, you know the sentence is complete. When you read the sentence and when you are looking for some more words to complete the sentence, then the sentence has to continue. Okay. I want you to take down these sentences in your notebook. They will be of much use to you later. Now when you listen, everything will seem very clear, but when you look at that later, you can also note down the explanation, why this is wrong, why this is right. Whatever reasons I give, you can also note it down in your notebook. There's one more sentence here. It's there or them. Taking the test without preparation was a mistake. It is they or them. Okay, yeah, you can think of the answer. Though this is a possessive adjective, we are discussing it here because, as I said earlier, some people may consider this in the topic pronouns. Their, my, his. They are the people. It is again who or whom. I think are the foundation of this company. Do we have answers for the fourth one? Dash, taking the test without preparation was a mistake. A group of people taking the test. So is it there or them? They are the people dash who or whom I think are the foundation of this company are. They are taking the test. Yes, that's right. Good. And do you know the reason? Can you explain why it is there? Okay, we just remember this. We will come back to this later on. This one, the last one. Somebody else has typed them. Okay. They are the people who. Who is the answer? Though whom seems to be right, though it is not. Here, this is the one that was the cause of your confusion. So just forget this. Then say they are the people who are the foundation of this company. So this may be misleading here. I think, he says, she said. They are the people who, she said, are the foundation of this company. Now if you omit this, then you will be able to find out the right answer. Normal relative pronoun in the nominative case here. Now take a simpler sentence just to make this clear. I want to see him acting. Another sentence, I want to see his acting. Do you find any difference in meaning between these two sentences? Only one word we have changed here. All the other words remain the same, you see. I want to see acting, all the words are the same except the pronoun here. I want to see him acting is also correct. I want to see his acting is also correct, but the meaning is slightly different. Do you get any difference here? What does it mean? I want to see him acting. Here you focus on the person. You are looking at the person when he is acting. Your focus is on the person. Here your focus is on his acting. Action. I want to see his singing. I want to hear his singing. Then the focus is on his singing. But if you say I want to hear him singing, then the focus is on the person. Is that clear? Both are right. See, the usage is right, but they mean a different thing. Same way here you know for sure it is there. Why? Because you have a clue in the sentence. It is not the people you are talking about, but their act of taking a test without enough preparation. So you are talking about that act of the students, of the people taking the test without preparation. So it is definitely talking about the action, taking the test. So when the focus is on the action, then you see the possessive adjective is used. His. So there is the possessive adjective here, whereas this is a pronoun. Is that clear? I hope you are taking down the sentences. Do we have questions? No, not yet. Maybe. Okay. try these. Now it's modeled on the same example that we discussed already. Now I hope the answer, you should be thorough with this pattern because we already discussed that. Priya is more beautiful than she or her. It is she because it means she is. Though the word is missing, it is understood. Another one. I do not approve of I do not approve of him or his talking in the class. So what is it that you don't like? Just say okay, 1, 2. You should have. This is very easy. You should have seen Manoj and they or them. Are they typing the answers? I do not approve of, see the same thing that we discussed is the possessive. Now which is that you don't approve of? The person or his habit of talking in the class? See, if you don't approve of this practice of talking in the class, it should be his. I do not approve of his talking in the class. It means regardless of who the person is, you don't like the practice, that act of talking. Somebody has typed him. So if you use him, it may mean you don't like the person when he is talking in the class. You don't approve of him, the person, when he is doing this act, right? So the focus is on the person when you use him. The focus is on the action when you use his. Okay, the last one. You should have seen Manoj and, that's very obvious, the easiest of all. You should just find out, yes, them, because it is the object of the verb should have seen. So when it is the object of the verb, it is them. When it is the subject of the verb, it is they. Okay. Do we have any questions? Okay. These gifts are from again they or them. Again the answer is easy, but the reason is different. Please type the answer for this question. These gifts are from my friend and they or them. Okay. Is the captain Is the captain he or him or Prem? You have to think well in order to answer this question. But these are sentences we normally use in our everyday conversation. So it's good that you know why to use which words. Yes, we have some answers or question. Give some intro about subject and object. Okay. Yeah. See, the subject is nothing but the most important thing in a sentence. See, if you ask a question, what does the sentence talk about, or whom does the sentence talk about, the answer that you get is the subject. Like for example, here you see, these gifts are from my friends. Let's say these gifts are from my friends. What does that sentence talk about? These gifts. So these gifts is the subject of that sentence. The object comes after the verb normally, but there's also occasions where you put the object first, but there's not a normal usage, but it is still accepted. Yes, do we have another question? I think I saw some answer. Okay, these gifts are from my friend and them. Them is right, because see, it is the object of a preposition. Remember, we learnt two situations where the pronoun is in the objective case. One is the object of a verb, the other is the object of a preposition. Here it is from my friend and them, for you and him, between him and me, if it is after the preposition. Okay, then this one, the last one, is the captain dash he or him. Is the captain he? Yes, right. He is right. Why? Because try to answer this question. How will you say he is the captain? We don't say him is the captain. If you want to answer this question, then it will be definitely he. He is the captain. He is the leader. It's not him, right? Okay. The object comes after the verb most of the times. Sometimes we also say in poems especially. Now look at this sentence. Him I don't remember. The word order is not the normal order, but still I think it conveys the meaning that you wish to convey. The normal word order would be I don't remember him, right? Now in a sentence like this is the subject, this is the verb, and this is the object. But in a sentence like this, you see, the same words, but the word order is different. The meaning is the same. So it is the meaning that matters. What does the sentence talk about? See, like now if you put him here, then I don't remember him. So here you see the object being placed in front. That is why you use the pronoun him and not he. We don't say he I don't remember. Why? Because you know for sure that him is the object of the verb remember. So it is him. Any other questions? Subject, verb, object is a topic by itself, and we have the direct object and the indirect object also. We will learn about that in a separate session, or I can just mention it. Let's see, just a minute will do. I gave a book. Subject, verb, object. The sentence talks about whom? I. The action is expressed by the verb. I gave what? See, the object always talks or answers the question what or whom. It answers the question what or whom. She called me. Here in this sentence you see it is the answer of the question, answer to the question whom. Here it is the answer to the question what. What did I give? A book. Whom did she call? Me. So the object is the answer to the question what or whom. And sometimes we have two objects in a same sentence, like, please listen carefully because this is something important, though we are away from this subject, which is pronouns for today. You see, subject, verb, you have two objects here. Again, you need to ask the same question what in order to get the direct object. I gave what? A book. So this gives the answer to the question what. So this is the direct object. This is the indirect object. We call it IO. The sentence pattern, we call it SVIODO. You would have learnt it in your school days, I think. You would be asked to identify the sentence patterns. Remember SV, SVC, subject verb complement, subject verb, object, and then again an object, two objects are there, SVIODO. So an indirect object answers the question to whom or for whom. I gave the book to whom? To her. I bought her a book. There it is the answer to the question for whom. I bought the book for whom? For her. Right? I think this much is enough. Which one you want me to explain? Please explain they or them again. Yes, of course. They occurs in the subject position and them in the object position. They as a subject, them in the object position. That is all. They told us, they informed us, they met him. So when it is used as the subject of a sentence, that means before a verb, then it is they. When it follows a verb, it is them. She told them. He took them to the beach. So it is after the verb, it is them. Before the verb, it is they. Is that clear? That's all. Okay. So I hope you would have learned something useful about the pronouns. See, it is not like student in a school who learns about pronouns, because you are college students. I hope we should be focusing more on the usage of pronouns than on the definition of a pronoun and then the kinds of pronouns. It's better to know them, but it is these sentences where you are normally confused and misled about the usage. There you have to be more careful which word, which pronoun to use and why. The why is more important. You have to know why it is right and why it is wrong. Okay, before we wind up, I just want you to visit the site again, which is www.btechguru.com, and we have a second batch of communication skills beginning in the next week. I want those of you who have not registered yet to please register again, and I want you to benefit maximum from the course. Right? Thank you.